Hey, Robbie, you've got some artwork with you wanted to share with us. Let's see what you
I
got. Truth, lies, or shenanigans?
This is truth and some fun shenanigans.
And culture.
So right now,
And
like
culture.
right, like,
Culture.
culture, education. There's so much negative news out there, and we've been covering it for weeks. It's an endless news cycle. So I really needed to find something a little bit more joyful to share with everyone today. And I came across the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, Italy. And since the pandemic and all of the hardships that they've had to endure, because Italy has had a lot of lockdowns and had some really high COVID numbers to contend with, this particular gallery in Florence, Italy, adapted by making memes out of their artwork on TikTok, and it's been catching on. It is funny, and it exposes people to some really beautiful classical works of art. And Neo, I know that I've got a couple, so that were my favorites. But
All right,
please, I
I
want to
got you
share
covered.
this with our audience.
I got you.
I like boys, I like pets, like them arms when they flex, like that print in their sweats. Tell them girls, thank you next. I like when they text me sexy pics of them, like the abs when there's six of them. Tell them girls, I'm sorry, I like boys.
Love is
Yeah,
love.
that's cute. That was
Love is
funny.
So
love.
for those on the podcast listening, they were just showing images of male sculptures, nude,
Yeah,
nude male sculptures.
nude.
That was
The
funny.
nude.
All right, I play the next.
What's one question you hate being asked?
Why don't you smile?
Good question. Why don't you smile?
I'm smiling on the inside. I feel that I have a responsibility to the fashion community.
And the reason why that one's funny, here's the meta moment. The name of the painting is called La Bella, and it's the portrait of an unknown woman by Titian, painted around 153. So the fact that La Bella is commenting about the fashion industry, that just tickled me.
That's so funny. Yeah.
B527 says, I love the
Gucci.
sculptures.
Wearing Gucci.
All
That's
right,
what she's wearing Gucci.
all right. Here's another one. All right, let's play this.
Mom,
Yeah,
what would you do if I got kidnapped?
I'll send them a thank you message.
You wouldn't do anything to get me back?
No, and I'll send them another message if they can take your youngest sister.
For those that of course couldn't see that, so it was a portrait of a mom with a son and her daughter on the lap.
That's a painting of Maria Luisa, Queen of Etruria, and her two sons, and that was painted in 1807. So the
Oh,
TikTok
wow.
gallery has hundreds of these videos. If you're fluent in Italian, you're going to be able to consume about twice as many videos as I was able to. So good for you. And my question for the panel is impressions, thoughts, and any of your favorites that stood out.
I mean, I have to say, I did like the male nude sculptures. I thought that was hilarious. So especially in a time when like on TikTok, you're getting banned for everything. So,
Yeah.
TikTok, Facebook. Matter of fact, I remember there was a post I did on Facebook with a very similar sculpture of Trump, and that got banned on Facebook. So
What? Like a
I mean,
nude, like a sculpture like that, or just
yeah, it
like
was a sculpture. It's very similar to those sculptures. It was
Oh
an
my
art project.
gosh.
No, not sculpture. I call it an art project. It was
Okay.
hilariously very similar to those, and Facebook banned it.
And it got dinged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but no,
One
I
of
thought that was
my
hilarious. I think it's a great idea for that that gallery because it makes them funny. It brings them to life actually.
Yeah,
So,
and it's really creative, extremely creative.
so Rob, I wasn't sure. Is this promoted by the gallery?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's the Uffizi Gallery that's been doing it. They've had artists come and do live performances in the gallery while things are down. They've done virtual tours. They've done multilingual tours. I'm not fluent in any Japanese, Cantonese, or Mandarin, and nor I don't understand it, and I can't read it. So I know that it was one of them, but they were just one of those languages. But they're offering tours to everyone, and they're just really trying to expose the gallery, and I think that what they've done, they've stumbled onto a winning formula, in my opinion, because
Yeah,
it's
for
funny,
sure.
it makes it relevant, it makes
It
it
is
pop,
funny.
and geez, if ever I'm in Florence, I would go visit these guys just to say, I love what you did during the pandemic. Now show me your stuff.
Yeah.
B527 asked the question, was it orange? So
The statue.
the answer is yes, actually. It was pretty, it was a very orange sculpture project.
He's
I think
too
it's great
funny.
because I think often when we think of art and art history, we think of, a very antiquated form of expression, something that's not very current, something that's not very up to date, something that young people, younger generations, um, don't gravitate towards. So I appreciate the effort from the Uffizi Gallery of getting or trying to get young people to look at their art, to engage in their art, to expose them to their art. I mean, you have to be creative in this day and age. You can't just be the same old National Gallery of Art and think that this generation is going to be impressed by that.
Yep.
So I appreciate this.
Mhm.
I appreciate the
Yeah.
effort. It was
Very creative.
fun. It was, and for me, like Neo, I like, the all male exhibit. I loved it. Loved it.
I thought
And
it was
it's funny
hilarious. I
because
mean, I didn't like it for the same reason, I
Joe,
don't think, but
yeah, but I loved it because love is love. And Joe and I talked about this earlier today because, in this day and age when people are just so hung up on homosexuality, to go back to these classic Roman and Greek sculptures. Now, if you are sculpting and you are going to spend a week crafting perfect male genitalia and some tight haunches, that might be
it might have
what
been
you're
months of work.
into,
I don't know about weeks.
right? Weeks and
Listen.
months of
Yeah.
work just on those specific areas. That's maybe indicative of what you're really into. So, I mean,
And
Yeah.
it should be
True.
noted that a lot of people who are homophobic have not studied any type of history, because if they did, they would be aware of same-sex interaction, same-sex contact in a lot of our ancient societies, particularly the Greek society.
Yes.
100%.
Very much, particularly.
Gianni,
Yeah.
what were your thoughts?
You didn't show this one, but there was one about it said like once the COVID lockdown is over, um, something like that. But it was very funny because it had a TikTok sound that is very popular right now.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, um, this bus, I'm this flight, and I'm tired, and it was just very
Oh, with
funny.
the
So it's
clap,
like,
clap,
yeah,
Soldier Boy.
yeah.
yeah.
That's
So they had that, and I really liked that one. And they had one that was like water solves all your problems. So they had a few on there that I could
Right?
understand. Yeah, they had a few on there that I could understand. That I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And like you guys said, I think it's a really, really creative way and a fun way to like get younger people to look into art, and maybe they see a portrait that they thought was really cool, and they do some research on it, and they just learn something. So I thought that's pretty
Maybe
cool.
they'll do a Gingy exhibit. Maybe they'll do a
Oh,
naked
Gingy.
All right, so Jacqueline
Thanks,
Robinson
Gingy.
says, so true. I know I'm aging myself, but a lot of us were introduced to classical music and operas because of Warner Brothers cartoon. B527's got more jokes. More male exhibits, please.
Especially for those of us who've been quarantined for a year. Yes.
Oh,
Male exhibits come.
All right, thank you for the hot topic, Robbie. That was a great one. Enjoyed it.
Lies, shenanigans.
All right, let's get into our game show. Let's have some fun shenanigans. All right, today's game show is Ask. Real simple. We're just going to go around the horn answering random questions given to us by the Ask app. The winner will be picked by our online audience, you guys online at the end, and you'll tell us who gave the best answers. That person gets our final thought. Trying to figure out who I want to start with. I'm going to start with Gianni. Gianni Storm.
Come through, Gianni. Come through, Gianni.
If you caught a goldfish that promises to fulfill your one wish, what's that wish?
For more wishes.